Hello my beautiful friends, and welcome once again. Good to see you guys. Remembering this, that there's nothing new under the sun, but every sunrise is beautiful. Happy 4th of July to everybody, Independence Day. I would like to share a few things on an uplifting note, and knowing that Independence Day means different things to different people, I thought it would be good to share what it means to me, or at least partially what it means to me, so we can spark up a conversation about Independence Day and about independence in itself and what it actually means, or at least the direction it is supposed to kind of get us going. I would like to encourage everybody about the word independence and what it means, and it's really, really important. There have been few times in human history where people have had autonomy over their own lives, and we have about as close as you can get to that now, although I think it's something that we always need to strive for, and I'll share the reasons why that is. Throughout history, it's been a rare occurrence that you had autonomy over your own life. And it is such a blessing, but it's also quite the responsibility. And I just want to remind everybody of what an amazing blessing it is. You can choose to be what clan you're a part of. You can create your own community if one doesn't exist. You can tie yourself to an old one that seems to be more stable to you. So you have freedom, you have autonomy, you have importance. That's what Independence Day means to me. And I want to share a couple thoughts on that I think would be helpful. But in the meantime, please like the video, subscribe, and even more importantly, share it with a friend that you think would be encouraged to hear a positive perspective on Independence Day, or as I like to call it, Autonomy Day. So here we go. So I'd ask you to take a second now and think of somebody that you know, maybe from work or some kind of environment that is semi-neutral. And think of some of the interesting things about them. Like, what do they like to do? What are their hobbies? What are their goals? What are their political beliefs? And you can probably come up with one friend or 4 or 5 friends, and not a one of them holds the exact same beliefs on any circumstance, right? Or in any situation or anything, religion, whatever. But think of that individual. Actually get somebody in your mind to think of that just for a second. Who do you know at work? Who do you know at home? And think of just a couple things about them, all right? You can stop the tape and do this, or just think about it, or whatever. Now I want you to think about a sibling or a close friend. Picture one person in your mind. Who are they? Well, I have a close friend, and she's very independent, she's highly intelligent, she stays neutral in communications about politics, has clear boundaries, is lighthearted because of these choices. She has designed her life for the most part the way that she likes it with the material that's been given to her. So I can picture this person in my mind. I want you to do the same thing. Think of somebody briefly and a few attributes. Then we're going to talk about a stranger. You see a stranger, you notice the way they're dressed, you notice the way they have their hair, whether they have tattoos, no tattoos, muscular, not so much muscular, you notice many things about them, right? And in this beautifully independent country, it's okay for them to be the way they are. One of the things that independence creates and autonomy creates is a beautiful array of people that are never ending. Though we have many similarities, there are many differences. And you can look at strangers and go, I don't have that, but that would be cool to maybe have my hair done a certain way, or maybe I need to get in shape, or maybe you talk to somebody briefly and go, wow, that person's really well read. I think I need to pull out my books again and start doing some reading. Whatever it is, they have a nice car. I would like to have a nice car. Or maybe they have a really cruddy car, but they look happy. So I want to look for happiness in spite of my circumstances. So independence allows us to see so many varieties in life, just like nature growing on its own. And then you also have cultivated nature. You have both to look at and to see what becomes of it. When we consider the words, the pursuit of happiness, or Independence Day, or freedom, it is this expression of the pursuit of happiness that is the most beautiful thing about Independence Day. It's not necessarily a flag, it's not necessarily an emblem, but it is the true reality that we are valued each individually. You are valuable. I am valuable. Person walking down the street is valuable. Everyone is valuable, and their expression is valuable and adds to the whole. Another amazing attribute to freedom is humans will gather in communities, will gather for causes, and sometimes causes are positive and elicit a great response. Other times these causes are negative and it has a negative connotation in society. We learn from both. If everything were one way, you would not learn. If we all thought one way, we would not learn and grow. And you would think that there would be a point where we know everything, but we never will. Even with the advent of computers and AI, the quest for experimenting, for learning, and for growing, I don't think will ever end. It'll be interesting to see. So within this framework of freedom, you have all these desperate communities, all these different communities, and you look at this one and say, I don't want to be part of that one, I don't want to be part of that, I like that one but I don't have time, or I want to be part of this one, or I'm going to create my own. The beauty in this is that we learn and we grow. Each time we make these choices, hopefully the end result is going to be enlightening or evolving yourself or helping other people evolve themselves, or simply just share love. And as we learn from these communities, good or bad, and as we participate ourselves, good or bad, we can take this new information, this new growth, share it with others or receive from somebody else to facilitate our growth, and this symbiotic relationship with freedom lifts the entire world up to a higher vibration. When considering freedom, when considering independence, the goal should be to uplift your neighbor. Can you imagine if everybody you knew, once a week, once a day, once an hour, or once a month, spent a little bit of time, or a decent amount of time, helping their neighbor in some way, helping a stranger, or even spending extra time with their children because they haven't been able to, or their wife, or whatever. If we actually put this in our mind, the amount of help that will come to the world is amazing. We think that sometimes the government can be the answer to so many problems and issues. Well, government is very limited in what they can do. And it is up to the individual and for us as communities to make the world better, not the government. And frankly, governments and bureaucracies, by their very nature, cannot really uplift a community. They can certainly try, they can provide money, they can provide backup plans, but even within those systems, there are flaws, because you cannot cater to everybody at one time. You don't know where everybody is at any one time. Every time a government creates a law or a bureaucracy creates a law, there's a implied message behind the law, and that is that you don't know how to guide your own life, so we're going to make that decision for you. And I know that the original intent of government in this country was to protect rights, but there's a fine line between protecting rights and taking rights away. So my plea to you is, don't depend on government, don't depend on bureaucracies. Let's depend on ourselves. Let's grow, let's reach out to our neighbor, let's use our independence, our knowledge for good, for creating beautiful lives, right? Knowing, believing that all souls are precious is very, very important, and we should never pit one another against each other. And whenever I do that, I usually feel bad about it. There are a few things in my world which I have no tolerance for, but for the most part, I tolerate many things, and if I am agitated by something, then it turns me inward, and I have to start saying, well, why is it agitating, and what can I do to improve my perspective or the perspective of the agitator if it bothers me. There have only been a few outspoken leaders that are talking about what I'm talking about here today. I'm talking about in the broad scheme of the big amount of people. I think there are more and more people now doing this, but in history, people that have said the things that I'm saying have talked about independence and have talked about lifting each individual up. Those people often suffer great persecution, and lots of them were killed for these beliefs. So we can go to Christ, we can go to Martin Luther King Jr., there are many others that sacrificed time in jail for the principle that all men are created equal and that we all have equal right to pursue happiness. The The world often looks unfair, and I believe in a sense it is unfair. But the only way to get from A to B is one person at a time, helping another person, one group helping another group. Let's all work together and make this a beautiful Independence Day. There's an old saying that anger resides in the heart of fools, but truth and love will set you free. Freedom is never free, though. It takes time, it takes energy, and it takes willing to take stress from other people when you challenge their thinking and their beliefs. If somebody makes an angry statement to you, or a divisive statement, or a prejudicial statement, are you okay with that? Or you say, so what did you really mean by that? Do you feel like that's a healthy way to look at it? Is there a way that we can be one instead of angry at each other? Anyway, that's my message on this beautiful Independence Day. I hope everyone's enjoying it. I love you. God bless you. Please share this video with somebody. It's very, very helpful. Like it, subscribe if you haven't already. And all the love, all the power, my friends. God bless.